Here's our vice president of marketing.
No, she's been on Botched, and yeah, I know her.
We have $27,000 worth of funny money in the account.
Look at that.
We are up 10% since we started
10%.
investing.
One dude that I knew in college, he was just like, I will get anything, whatever. So then he had like a bunch of tattoo artist friends who were like, hey, I really want to try out this new style.
Yeah.
And he's like, cool, you can do it on my head. Like, literally, he had fuck the world and people equal shit on the side of his head.
And then he grows up and gets a real job, and he's like, here's our vice president of marketing.
Yeah.
Here's our vice president of
finance.
investor relations.
And he's like,
what's up, investors? Yeah.
He worked at Freebirds for a bit, so he like fit in fine
There
there.
you go, yeah. Like senior executives do not have their earlobes hanging down because they once had discs in them,
Right.
you know?
Right. Yeah. Unless they're African. And then maybe, but like,
I mean,
that's like
in Africa. And then it's their loops.
God. Yeah, that is a beauty thing that I'm glad we're not about.
No, we got our own. I'm sure those Africans look at videos of
Yeah,
us.
and they're like, what the hell?
What the hell?
They're like, why is your neck so short? We put like rings on that shit to like make it. I mean, we do like long necks, apparently.
Apparently it is a thing.
Yeah.
And you can see some women on like freaking some newscasters and stuff. They have some long necks.
Yeah, not me. I wish.
No. Our heirs are doomed to short neck. That's not even the worst thing they got going biologically from us. You get born into our family, Kalyn, you're doomed to, dumpy hood. You look at
I'm like,
you're doing the best out of all of us by a mile, Kalyn.
Yeah, I think it's funny when we put our feet side by side. I was like, damn, that's some genetics right there. Because our feet, if I could pick out who's related and put all of the feet of people that we know in Cleveland together, I'd be like, these two. And not in a good way.
No, mine are not the feet that you want to look like.
Mine either.
I look at my own toenails and I'm like, all I can think of is this is what I'll look like as a corpse. Like I can totally imagine myself in the coffin with these awful toenails.
Just your nails, like that's.
I'm like, and I'm just like, I'm gonna die with these toenails.
Yeah. In a coffin.
When I'm a zombie.
Yeah, that's one thing they don't show zombies with though, is like the shanae nails and stuff, because they should all have like really long ass nails.
And every zombie movie, the zombies they eat people,
right,
and brains,
right,
or infect you with zombie virus.
Well, yeah. See, that's one thing I don't understand. Like, when do they decide if they're going to just infect you, or you get away is how you get infected? But if they get you, then they just eat you.
Finish the job right there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, maybe it's like getting bit by a wild dog. If you escape, your chances of getting rabies or whatever nastiness are...
That's high, but not of getting eaten alive.
That's right.
Yeah.
Your odds are way worse if you get eaten alive. You're probably not going to survive that.
That's what I figured.
All these zombie movies, though, and they've never thought of anything else for them to do but go around eating people. I guess it'd be kind of boring if they just like came and like competed for jobs or something. We're from Mexico. They'd be like, build the zombie wall.
Yeah, they're all retarded. I mean, I guess because their brains are gone.
Yeah, but they're the only ones willing to do the jobs out in the fields.
Yeah,
you
right?
know?
Yeah, just put a lawnmower in their hands and they'll just keep on going. Just have them go in a straight line.
The manager that is reliant on the zombie labor is like pulling his hair out like, Jesus Christ, I've told these guys 1,000 times. Right. You gotta turn the lawnmower when you hit the fence.
Yeah.
They just keep on. Zombie lawn mowing service.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like every episode we come up with a great business idea.
Brilliant business ideas. Yeah, I know.
Here we are, episode 32. Maybe we should kick it off with
I guess so, yeah.
All right. Cue the music. You are listening to Robert and Kalyn Give Out Business Ideas Podcast. We got the best and the craziest business ideas. This week we'll be discussing zombie lawn care. You know, the good news is you don't have to pay them very much.
That's true.
Because they don't even know if they're getting paid.
Right.
They don't know anything. The downside is they really suck at lawn care.
Yeah.
But hey.
And hard to promote them in the middle management because none of them have any brains, So.
Yeah. All right. So we might have to shelve this business idea and go back to our original podcast, which was Robert and Kalyn Get Rich. We talk about zombies and investments and anything else that we feel like we are the world's only comedy personal finance podcast. But there's one thing we never talk about.
That's giving financial or investment advice.
That's right. So if you don't need investment or financial advice and you do want to talk about zombie lawn care and other such things, from now until forever.
Yeah.
If you'll be undead, you could listen to this show for unlimited.
Eons.
And if that's what you'd like, if you'd like to listen to us from beyond the grave, then like and subscribe. Send us to your friends who similarly, I'm sure, would like to have a podcast after death.
Yeah.
I've ridden this thing really, really hard. What was this? What did I forget? Oh, rate us. Yeah. So make sure you rate us as well. Right. Or get your zombies to do it.
Yeah.
There's the zombie at the 5 stars.
Yeah. Get them to do some views. People sell views or whatever. They should have zombies do it.
It's
real views. YouTube would be like,
well, they're not bots,
Totally jammed up.
They're just the undead. Yeah. No, these guys on this podcast were there's a financial podcast. So they had read a financial article or a financial tweet or something.
Yeah.
And they were giving that guy a hard time for hashtagging the wrong things. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be hashtagging.
We're like hashtag Kamala. At Kamala, let's get some views.
Yeah.
Let's ride someone's coattail.
100 million people like Kamala Harris. Let's at her on our. Now instead of 600 views, we'll get 700.
Right, exactly. Okay.
See, 1% better. You were at least conscientious of opening the can this episode, and usually you wouldn't be.
Usually I'm just a dick. I was actually talking to Corwin, and I can't remember what we were talking about. But he was like, what did he say? Something to the effect of like, you're not the best on the selflessness front. And I was like, true. Yeah, I give myself a solid C on selflessness. So yeah, I'm working on it though.
A lot of these guys on Ramith's podcast get in trouble. The couple today, one of the reasons this woman had gotten herself in a hole is because she was financially supporting her 2 adult daughters, paying their cell phone bills and da-da-da-da-da. Oh, she had borrowed against her 401k to buy this camper. I'm like, Jesus H. Christ.
I mean, other than like extreme emergencies, right? Like if I don't have insurance for some reason, I get some terrible diagnosis, have to have a bone marrow transplant. So I have a $1 million medical debt and I would use my 401k money for that. But other than that, the only time I borrowed a little bit for my down payment when I bought the condo, I think I borrowed $3,000 or something like that. But that's the only thing that I've ever heard was like, this is an okay time to borrow really against your 401k. It worked out great for me with my borrowing for myself because it was a small amount. So it was really easy to pay that back.
Yeah,
super quickly.
It sounded like you did it smart. It's kind of weird that you even needed that $3,000.
I didn't really I just wanted to. I wanted to have a little bit more of a cash buffer.
Yeah.
Because I'd never bought a house before, and I knew that there were going to be some things that I wanted to like do. Around the house because that's always the case when you buy a new place. It seems.
Yes. Right.
But and then it worked out great because then I got the DUI. Like promptly.
Yeah.
So I was
champ.
like, thank you. Great. Now I can make my first check with this money essentially to my lawyer. So and I didn't fix anything in the loft at all.
Well, and it worked out just fine, didn't it?
Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah.
Well, you could have, instead of 401k, you could go to the Bank of Mom, but that has a certain emotional cost.
Yeah,
light on fees, heavy on emotional cost.
Right. And when I did get the DUI, Mom and Dad offered to help me, but I was like, fuck that shit. Like,
the last thing
I was like, I'm officially an adult for realsies. I've bought a house now. I'm in my 30s.
Yeah.
We've crossed the Rubicon.
Right.
I've said this a bunch of times, not here. But I do feel like we kind of like won the lottery at birth. As much as we poke fun at our folks and everything, like they're like solidly good people, like really tried to be rock solid for us. I feel like it's half the reason I'm crazy is because I'm like, I've got so much security feeling in my life. Like, woo, let's make chaos. But like, let's have new experiences, whatever. Yeah. And I think that part of that is absolutely I totally feel like if necessary, I do feel like I could lean on Mom and Dad. I think we're really lucky there.
Yeah. So thanks, Mom and Dad. We love you.
Yay!
Thanks for being great parents and such a rock solid support.
Yeah.
We're going to cut this shit out of this podcast.
Yeah, this is boring.
Boring.
We need to talk about how Dad was annoying.
Yeah.
Who let the dogs out?
And my mom won't spend a penny.
And, I mean, anytime we like go out to eat, it's always like, Steven, get out your credit card. Go on. Like when we were
Right.
out visiting Kiara's school. Like,
Yeah.
you know, George is like, come on, Steven.
You're paying for this. We're paying for this.
And and he's like, oh, all right. I'm like, we're gonna be like, yeah, you guys drove us up here. We're staying with your family, Andrea, but like, yeah, you should also pay for our like muffin.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And especially with Dad working, and they don't need the money.
Right.
They just,
the house is paid off. It's been paid off for like
Yeah.
10 years. And they're getting great Social Security stuff.
and they could live off $30,000 a year. Not
Absolutely.
36.
Yeah, 100%.
And
Without a house payment, and like that Dad paid the car off. Like the car does not have a payment.
He keeps talking about how he's working
know.
long enough to buy 2 cars. Like, Dad, that's like 3 months.
Right.
You've been at this for a couple years.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna keep on slugging away at it. So you're like splitting your money. Like, okay, I get to keep 10% of my check, and that's the money for the car.
Yeah.
and then we'll do that until I can pay the car off in full.
Yes.
at the dealership.
Yeah.
Like,
They are the customers car dealerships freaking hate because there's no financing. You know they don't buy any of the tire care packages.
never. Oh, are you kidding me?
Rust prevention.
No.
Like,
No. I've been looking at cars though because I'm hoping that eventually
Someday you can buy a car.
That I'll be employed again one day.
Yeah.
Someone will hire me, or Corwin will marry me, and I'll get a car. And,
Don't give me an engagement ring. Just give me a car.
I just want a Nissan Rogue. Show me you love me with that Nissan Rogue.
I have an important topic for you, which is,
Okay.
as you know, Andre and I have helped out people from time to time in the business, right?
Yeah.
That don't have the
Yeah.
resources we have. Now, if I give someone money, do I have a right to then not be happy with how they spend it? Or no, I have to then walk away and ignore?
I feel like this is what I've learned about gifts in general.
Yeah.
Once I give this to you, if you were like, cool, and throw it in the trash can, it is done. That is how I feel about gifts now. You gave it to me. It is now mine.
Yeah.
You're out.
Yeah.
You know? You get to be happy if I'm like, oh, awesome. I'm so excited about this thing.
Yeah.
And that's it. But
Well,
like,
and I mean, when it's straight money, when they're like, okay, here's all the reasons this person needs the money. They've got their bad financial position and this and that. And here's all the legitimate reasons that, their husband was, and then they take your money and they
go to TJ Maxx. I mean, to be honest though, like, I feel like if you get in bad financial situations, there's probably a reason why. And it's probably not like a super like, oh, I just had this really shitty thing happen.
Right.
This one way out of nowhere, thing that who could have ever planned for this? I feel like people in general should be working towards getting themselves in a place where like I can easily cover my expenses for a year. And so then like, how big of a thing does it have to be for me to come borrow money?
Right.
It has to be pretty fucking big.
Yeah.
Like I would have to like not have insurance and be in some medical incident where I'm like, Robert, please help me with my medical bill for my broken leg.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That's not really that probably expensive.
No, I don't think a broken leg is.
like, well,
I broke my leg and now I ran through 6 months of. They're wrapping the gauze around and eating.
I went to the fanciest fucking hospital. They were feeding me caviar, and I thought that I had to eat it. I had to keep eating the beluga caviar. I don't know. It just added up.
Then I get the bill at the end. I'm like, I thought
What?
the caviar.
I know you bathed me in champagne, but like, how could you charge me for this? Yeah, I don't know. It'd probably be covered by some insurance.
I think insurance might kick in at some point here.
Yeah,
but
but you know what I'm saying, like. Also, if I broke my leg, I would just get in my car and drive my car into a tree because my car insurance covers personal bodily injury, right? So, like, that was my plan for a while.
Insurance for a fraud part 2. Yeah. Episode 2 of insurance fraud.
For a while when I didn't have health insurance, I was like, if I get really sick, I am going to drive my car into a pole because then I can go to the hospital and be like, yes, I've got whiplash, but I've also got this cough. I don't know if they're related. Like, my neck, but also I've had diarrhea for a week, like or whatever it was. I have dysentery.
Right.
So.
That car wreck gave me dysentery. Were you wearing a mask when you were in the car wreck? Yesterday, December 2nd, 2024, I saw 2 people drive by wearing masks in their own car.
Really?
And I'm like, I cannot deal
I
with
haven't
this.
seen that since like height of pandemic. And then I'm like, you're by yourself. You're just in your car. Why are you wearing a mask? Yeah, this isn't a Lyft situation or anything then.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Lyft, okay, man, you're a Lyft driver and you're whatever. Right. You have rabies or whatever. Like, put on a mask.
Get yourself to the doctor. If you get bit by any animal, I think it's
Next
best
stop,
to just go to a doctor.
Yeah. This is going back to the getting eaten alive by wolves.
Yeah. If you get bit by a zombie, make your way quickly to the nearest physician.
Yes.
And then it'll be like, you got
mow my lawn.
Yeah, mow the lawn. You get to manage the zombies
for 30 more minutes until your
brain is gone.
One of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you said, like, I've got something I've been meaning to ask you about, I thought you were going to ask about breast implants.
Might as well segue into that.
So we talked last week about breast reductions being, like, on the rise,
yes, right?
And I don't know if this is included within that bucket, but I watched a documentary over the past week about explants. So this is removing breast implants, right? And this is a big thing because there's breast implant illness. But what I found out was really interesting. First of all, breast implants are from Houston, Texas. Y'all are welcome. But apparently, early versions, so like people used all kinds of materials, including wood chips, and I'm like, what?
Chips.
You're like, these are really small. Let's just get some of this firewood and like start hacking it up, and then I don't know, cut me open and shove that shit in there.
How early are we talking about here? Are we talking about... Is this Daniel Boone? Daniel Boone breast implants?
We're talking about on the Mayflower. Yeah. People are like, gross, your tits are too small. And then somebody's like, I got some firewood over here. Yeah. You want to fix that up?
What are we going to stick in?
Everybody's dying anyway, so let's just see what happens.
We got pig shit. No.
Yeah, they use yarn. That was another big thing, yarn. And I'm like, what? Like,
you got to give me time frame here. We are 100% talking about like frontier days. Or
they talked about it being like with the when there were GIs in Asia.
Okay.
So like I don't know what time frame that World War I,
World War II. Yeah. Would be in World War II. These Asian broads.
A lot of Asian women wanted to
be more American.
Catch the eye of some of these GIs, right? Because they thought they'd have a better life in America or whatever.
Sure.
The American dream is spread far and wide.
Yeah.
And so but one of the things that the GIs liked was big old boobs. And so they're like, hey, I've got some wood chips, so let's give it a shot. And I'm like, yeah, so not really that long ago. I just don't understand how, like, just loose wood chips or sawdust, though, would be really fucking low on my list of things I could, like, just shove into my body. Like,
this is ill-advised.
Cut myself open, I'll be like, yeah, let's go ahead and stick that metal rod underneath my skin.
Yeah.
We'll give that a shot, but not, like, let's stuff this full of dirt and sawdust and shit.
Yeah.
See if I can keep a permanent lump on my arm.
But this is why you haven't attracted a GI.
That's true. That's true.
Because those dudes freaking love sawdust in a girl.
They're like, whatever. I don't care how they feel or look or if you die soon. Like, it doesn't
matter. They're all lumpy. They got the chips.
Right. Yeah. They don't heal right. Like, eventually they'll just fall off or something.
Yeah.
But
I too did research on breast implants over the last week. We talked about those Q. So you mentioned size Q breast implants, and I said I like size Q breast implants. Not actually knowing what size. So I went and looked it up, and I did not find any specific. Well, the thing that came up was this actress, Lucy Wilde, which hopefully this is on Safe Search. Wilde with 2 Ds.
Oh, yeah.
Let me, let's get some images going. Let's share this with our...
Oh, yeah, I know her.
You know? Okay, well, of course you do. Personally?
Yeah.
She's in Houston?
Besties. Yeah. Really good friends. No, she's been on Botched. And yeah, I know her from.
There's nothing bad under there, I bet.
Yeah. We should definitely find this video at some point. Maybe not for the listeners today, but so when she was on Botch, she would take a flashlight and hold it up against her boob, and you could see all the veins, and then she could like press on one, and you could see the blood stop, and then resume when she took her finger off. I was like,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so but evidently she has size QQQ
Yeah.
breasts. And my reaction after seeing those pictures and the QQQ breasts, I was like, I don't think it's real scientific how they give these letter.
Yeah, women's bra sizing is like, so as stupid as women's clothing sizing is, like how it makes zero sense. You know, like men's pants are always like 31 by 33 or
actual measurements of some body part. Yeah.
33 by 80, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck it is. Women's are like 2, 4, 6, 8, or sometimes small, medium, large, or sometimes 1, 3, 5, 7, or sometimes the number.
Yes.
That also, I don't know what that exactly lines up with.
Because the European ones, the 44s and the whatever.
Right, yeah. But women's bras are like, take that and then to the like some factorial, like, you know, make it even the most retarded possible. Like,
well, one of them sounds pretty new. I mean, like
they make it sound that way, don't they?
36 or whatever.
Yeah. So they say like it's supposed to be the measurement around right below your at like the widest part of your rib cage. Right, I think in inches.
Yeah.
So it'd be like 34, 36, whatever.
Those sound like very reasonable inches to be around a woman your size.
Then the like letter is how many inches larger you are around the biggest part here. Mm-hmm. So like a 34B would have measurements of 34 and 36. So 34 QQQ. I don't know how many, like, because we do triple double Ds.
That's where it gets.
And sometimes there's E's and sometimes like, and I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
You know. Huh? But, and if you go bra shopping, then like you'll find, so let's say, for example, that this is not real, but we'll pretend I'm a 36C. Mm-hmm. If like I find a bra that's a 34D, that'll fit.
Right.
And I'm like, what? So then like when guys talk, they're like, oh, I like D's, double D's, Q's, whatever. I'm like, well, that's different sizes for every fucking girl.
Yeah.
Like, because I could be both a D and a C at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
depending on the brand. And
right. Yeah. And if I feel like I can, you know, this part's feeling a little thinner, or they just measured it differently in the bra, like whatever. It's so fucking retarded.
This is why you can go and get an appointment for a bra fitting.
Yeah, from someone who's really fancy and will give you a bra size that like you can buy nowhere else. It's always that you like. I remember Kiara came and she was like, yeah, I'm actually a size like 28J or something, whatever it was. And I'm like, what the fuck? You'll never find that bra ever. Like, you are now limited to shopping at those boutiques.
Yeah.
Like, and everybody has a weird size. No one has like the size. All of us growing up, we all thought we were size 34B. All of us, every teenage girl in the universe, that's what they think that their size is. Yeah. Like, and it turns out not one of us has that size.
It's all part of the racket. But I think maybe porn stars go to those boutique bra fitters because they all have size G, H,
well, right,
J.
yeah. Once you're like, yeah, implants don't come like in that many sizes, right? Like, so people like Lacey will have stacked implants, some of which have basically a port so you can like put more saline in or whatever. And I'm
later
like,
and stretch it out for
right. And I'm like, gross. I don't want to have an open wound on the side of me like just all the time, like so I can stretch my skin even fucking thinner.
You got to clean that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get old and your kids have to clean it for you.
Yeah.
Clean your ports.
Yeah. It's lovely. Like,
that makes me think of the stock market.
Yeah, sure does. Ups and downs, bigger, littler.
Did you hear us talking about big boobs?
That girl's at 34B.
This could be us. This is not us. Damn it. All right.
Okay.
We have $27,000 worth of funny money in the account.
Look at that.
We are up 10% since we started investing. That's exactly right. We might never go back in the red. Never.
Wow. That's a statement.
Yeah, we'll see.
We did sell some stuff though, right?
Yeah, so part of that, so you can see our realized gains and losses are negative 196.
Okay. So
what that is we lost a ton of bucks on chicken soup for the solar entertainment, and then I sold enough Fannie Mae to more or less pay that back. Yeah, if you imagine if we had another $1,000 in unrealized gains and losses, our percentage would be really higher. And you have a piece of Fannie Mae, right?
I do. Yeah.
I have a position in Fannie Mae too.
Yeah, I keep thinking about I don't know whether I should buy more or sell some of it or whatever. I think,
the calculation was like it would go up 14 times or something.
Yeah.
I always kind of think about like, well, what would I like this to go up to,
Right.
And if it's a 10x, you're like,
right.
Oh, well.
I never think about that.
Yeah.
I would have sold Netflix a long time ago. If I thought about that.
Right. Exactly.
So no, that's a good point though. I mean,
well, that's in terms of how much I put in initially. It's it's the dumbest way to size your positions ever. But
I mean, it makes a lot of sense for me on the things that I've with Dogecoin, for example, where I've been in the red, where I have lost money, and now I'm now I've doubled up almost. I'm close to doubling up.
Yeah.
I'm that it does have an appeal to me to think about it in this way. Where would I really like to be, and then that be the point where I kind of start pulling out. I don't know.
Whatever works for you, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I maybe that's my immediate appeal, but I also like the
Yeah.
Maybe I should just start thinking about that. Go through all of these fucking crazy ass stocks and be like, where do I want this weird ass? What even is this thing? Yeah.
When I think about Howmet, and I'm like, where do I want Howmet
where
to?
do I want Howmet to get to? How big do I want us to go? Take over the world. So how are we doing compared to the market?
Let's look at the market. Maybe this is the market.
That one.
Okay, that one. The market is doing quite well over the same course of time. 10 points.
Dang.
Yeah.
They're beating us by a little bit.
But think about it this way: they didn't have to make up for chicken soup for
That's
the soul
true.
Going busto.
Yeah. So really, we're super winning.
We're super winning. If we could.
That's girl math there. We lost all that money, but then we made a lot of that money back. So it's basically we've made twice as much money as we've actually made.
Yeah, I need to do girl math on my my Spirit Airlines investment.
Yeah, me too.
I was thinking as we pitch our hedge fund to investors, we could be like, we did so good. One of our went out of business, and then we almost caught up data come to the S&P. Give us money.
We really did though. I mean, we're only trailing by less than 1%.
Yeah.
How are our friends doing?
The friends, on the other hand, are not doing so good. But they're getting closer. They're getting closer to zero.
Good for them. Good for them.
Yeah, because Starbucks is can't be stopped.
Yeah.
Not really. That Starbucks doing all right, and then
Starbucks had been doing kind of mixed.
Yeah.
And that Pluti Homes is doing better than I think it was.
It's a lot better.
Yeah. You know who I do want to write a letter to though for realsies is Meijer, the grocery store chain.
Yeah.
Because their cottage cheese is the shit.
Yeah.
It's the best by a lot. I don't know how many cottage cheese fans we've got, but I've done the field work, and I'm telling you, I really I was eating it earlier today, and I was like, this is luxury. I would pay good money for this at a restaurant. This is better than a lot of stuff that I've eaten at restaurants.
Yeah.
This fucking $2 cottage cheese is just luxurious and lovely and awesome, and it's way better than all the brand names. I really do want to write them a letter and be like, I just want you guys to know this is the best product I've maybe ever come across. I would buy stock in them.
Cottage cheese.
Yeah, that's how much I like them.
Is Meijer public?
I don't know, but yeah. Also, I like your little small format stores. I didn't realize that. I was trying to figure out where I'd bought it, because I was I know there's no Meijers here, weirdly, even though they're in. Yeah. They're family owned.
They're family owned, private in Grand Rapids, Michigan. They're one of the mega families.
Yeah.
There. I think there's stadiums and stuff named after them.
I still would write them a letter. I would be like, "Dear Hendrik Meijer.
Yeah.
I know you're dead since you founded this company in 1934.
Not necessarily.
You founded the company in 1934?
Yeah.
So you could be 110 right now.
Right.
You founded it when you were 10 years old.
That's right.
Anyway. Or you're 20 years old. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
But
so right.
But yeah, I mean it's where it's at. It's really good. But yeah, so I was like, which grocery store is it? And I got so frustrated. I had to pull over because I was trying to do this on my phone while I was driving, even though that's illegal in Cleveland. But I like that chart of their wealth. Share.
Here's the Meyer family wealth.
Ignore that stupid ad.
We picked 3 years.
And it looks like it spreads perfectly. Like
we picked 3 years out of had
20. 1 year there, and then 10 years in this shed that's the exact same size. People are good at graphs.
As you were talking about going to I could imagine going to this fine French restaurant and getting served
cottage cheese. Honestly,
it just spreads on the plate.
Yeah, they're like
Here
have like a whole serving thing of it, like
Here is the right.
Like it's molecular
flamboyant
gastronomy stuff. Like they're like, here's a bubble that's got cottage cheese in the center. Once you like crack the bubble or something, and it's like Meyer cottage cheese, I would be like, hell yeah, I will pay $50 for this course.
Here is the cottage cheese.
Just to have my money. I'll sign over my Netflix stock.
The fromage le cottage.
Cottage.
Cottage le fromage. Fromage cottage.
Cottage. I know you don't know what word cottage is in French.
No.
I like that you're saying cottage. Fromage cottage.
It is, cottage is like chateau or something, isn't it? Or one of these words that, yeah.
Yeah, let's find out. Cottage in French.
Okay.
Cottage en français.
The audience listens with bated breath.
Yeah, I believe it. Chalet.
You aim this towards only cottage fan. You're like, I don't know how many cottage cheese fans are out there. Everybody else is tuned out now. So this could be the most fascinating thing you ever found.
Chalet means
chalet. I know it was one of those things.
Yeah. You were right.
I knew.
Right.
I know. I was close. All right.
Yeah. Fromage chalet.
De la? No.
No. Like
fromage.
A la.
Fromage à la.
Yeah. Because like.
Fromage de chalet.
Yeah.
Du chalet.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll put cottage cheese in here and see what they say.
That would be smarter. But then you can't get like their word for it. We need like.
Yeah, no, I know. Fromage blanc.
Fromage blanc.
That's cheating.
Yeah, that's just white cheese. Come on.
Right. Yeah.
See, and you thought you came on this podcast and all you learn about is like boring investments.
Yeah, it's
and all
so
this
stupid. But no, now you know.
Now
when
you
you're
know.
in French, you can be like,
fromage blanc, por favor. I mean, s'il vous plaît.
S'il vous plaît. Les fromages de chalet. And they're like,
the cheese of the cottage.
What did you say?
What? Speak English. We all speak English now.
We speak English here, you dirty American.
We were family trip to Italy when the kids were little. We were late getting into Venice.
Yeah.
Right. And you have to take the water bus. Mm-hmm. So there's water bus stops and blah, blah, blah. But we're there after 10 o'clock or something. And so we go into the water bus stop that we think is the one that takes you to the island, to the stop that we want to get to that's closest to our Airbnb. And we're standing, we're waiting, we're chatting, da-da-da. The homeless guy from under the blanket shouts at us in English, "Look at the sign!" And the sign says, "This stop is closed after 10 p.m. Use Route 42 instead," or whatever. Right?
He's like, "I am drunk and trying to sleep here.
Yeah.
Get out of my bus stop.
Read the sign."
Read the sign.
I'm like,
I made him kind of French there, but that's
yeah, I don't. Well, who knows? He was. Honestly, he was probably from like, Serbia or something. Where do poor people come from in Europe? Not Africa.
Like from
Deep East Europe, right?
Right. Yeah, from Bosnia Herzegovina.
Yeah, wherever. But
I don't even
was
think
like,
that's a place anymore.
I was like, the damn homeless people speak better English,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense that all these European countries that everybody's like multilingual and very good at like the dominant language, which is across the world English and Chinese. But,
hell yeah, it is.
Yeah.
One of those.
I mean, yeah, China's far away.
Yeah.
But
I got slanty eyes. You're like, shut up, Chinese guy.
Like, yeah, bing bong, ching chong, got it. like speak English, God, oh, shit, cool. Like, we get it. You want to eat like chicken feet and shit that's gross. Like, yeah. Like, please talk our language.
Jellyfish.
Yeah.
We had jellyfish.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
In China?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
thought everything, I was in China for one day. So this is a very broad brush statement.
Right.
I'm going to say, but like.
Based on my experience. Based on my one day in China.
Yeah, I was like, this sucks.
This country of 1 billion people is terrible.
Yeah. Terrible food all the way around. Just skip it. Skip.
Can be missed.
Yeah, like, yeah. Pass. I don't like Chinese food in America either.
Oh,
so.
I do. Hell yeah, I do. But then we know that bears very little resemblance to actual Chinese food.
Yeah.
I love me a rangoon or a
crab rangoon.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, everybody likes fried fat stuff.
That's what I'm.
Like Daniel Tosh says, fried mayonnaise balls. That sounds so good. Like I would 100% eat that. Yeah. Like crab rangoon is like, here's fake crab for like 2 strips and then like cream cheese.
Cream cheese.
Lock that up in a wonton. Fry that shit. Hell yeah, you want to eat that.
Fromage blanc.
Not cottage cheese.
Oh, and also not French.
I mean, if we wanted to ask for it in France, let's look up crab rangoon in France.
We're gonna go to France and order every damn thing.
It's crab rangoon.
Oh, with an E though.
Rangoon.
What about the little?
No accent aigu or anything. No, yeah. Here, let's see. Crab rangoon.
Crab. How do you say crab in French? It's not crab, is it?
Well, let's just see. I think so. Yeah. I mean,
crab. All right, these are important life skills, people.
Yeah. Crab rangoon.
Next time I give you money and bail you out and you go on a trip to France.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm going to France, but I'm getting a Chinese tour guide, and I gotta figure out.
I got some hankering
I'm hungry for some crab rangoon. Yeah, good stuff.
Okay, I feel like we need to talk about Dominion Energy.
Yeah.
Which this is amongst my worst preparation ever for a stock, but
who's Roy Racing?
Roy. Okay, so let's talk about Roy Raymond. Roy Raymond was an American businessman who founded Victoria's Secret.
Oh, right. We were talking about
We
this the other
talked
day.
about this last time, so I thought I would follow up on it. I was like, I kind of know this story. It was a very Kalyn story, right?
Right.
He's a Stanford graduate school of business guy. He founded Victoria's Secret, and he built it up to, I believe, the first 5. And then he sold it to Leslie Wexner was the name of the cat I couldn't think of, who is the Limited, right? And also Gap and all of those, right? He sold it for $1 million to Wexner, and it's when it was grossing $6 million per year, it's now worth $1 trillion gazillion dollars, of course. Then he tried to do some other things. His company to sell toys to nerd kids didn't do well because of location. But this guy who went to Stanford Graduate Business School, he didn't set up a legal structure for this company. So when it goes bankrupt, he went bankrupt.
Oh, man.
So then he threw himself off the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary about people that jump off the Golden Gate Bridge. No shit.
Well, perfect. I'm going to let you hear all about it.
Apparently, it's like a super common place to jump off the bridge.
Yeah. Well, it's in the zeitgeist. Yeah.
And I mean, it's also like they don't have like super big protections on the sides.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So like people that want to jump off buildings, like, or whatever, want to be jumpers.
Yeah.
This is a pretty, like, it's a destination suicide place. Like people go there to, with this specific purpose.
It's like, what?
Which I think is like a fucking awful way to die also. Like, because
in terror,
like,
so like brief terror followed by
right. So like, if I'm going to kill myself, I'm not going to leave myself room to like have the second, oh, do I actually want to do this?
Right.
You know, thought. Like, I want it to be
instant
over.
Well, they've definitely found that a major way to reduce suicide is to take away the means of suicide, make it harder to like actually commit the act. And they've had lots of conversations, as I understand it, about putting things in place on the Golden Gate Bridge to keep people from jumping off.
Which most bridges have.
Yeah.
Like it's not easy to access the roof of many buildings.
Yeah.
You know, you can't in hospitals because we need like the helicopters to be able to land there. And so we need
Sure.
doctors and stuff. But like that's it. As a patient, you're not able to get up there easily unless you're coming in, not out. Like
the suicide rates amongst helicopter pilots is pretty
pretty high.
Pretty
it's
brutal.
Bad. Yeah.
And doctors that run up there.
Yeah, and it's like, oh no, that patient looks terrible.
Ex-wife calls right at the wrong time.
Yeah,
freaking.
I don't know.
I'm divorcing you.
If I jump off a building, though, for sure, I'm gonna go wee when I do it.
How do you say suicide in French?
Let's find out. I know you said orgasm is le petit mort, which means little death. I wonder if this is gonna be related. Suicide is suicide.
Ah, here's the word suicide in French.
This is en français. Les suicides.
Suicide.
Why?
This is the worst. Pick another word and see if it. Pick hot dog and
Why
see.
did it do this? Oh, that's a pronunciation. La mort.
No, do like pizza.
Okay, pizza. What is happening?
It's not that then.
Yeah. Pizza is also pizza. I'm like, French doesn't seem that hard to learn.
No. Can't think of any words that.
Like, pizza's pizza.
Pizza, suicide. What else do I got to talk about?
I know, Jesus. Come on. I'm trying one more time because I wanted to say, I want you to fucking talk.
Suicide.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I don't know why that stopped working all of a sudden.
Pizza.
There you go.
You got to call the suicide hotline in France.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Dominion Energy.
Dominion Energy we got to look at.
Yeah.
I found Dominion Energy to be hard to investigate because you go to their website, all they want to talk about is like turning on and off your service and all this stuff.
Oh,
but anyway, and I didn't have very much time, but I did make it to this page, which talks about their stock price, and they have the stock chart, and this is really handy down here at the bottom. Investment calculator, like if you invested $10,000 on December 3rd.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't know why they picked, I get 8 years. I have no idea how they picked that, but this is really useful if we look at this chart.
Here
Here it is. So there's the S&P. Like, for those of you listening, Dominion is like deeply in the red compared to the S&P, which is off to the races.
You gotta share.
I am sharing, but if you're just listening, Dominion has been a horrible investment over the past 8 years, and they show it right.
Yeah, they're like, please compare. We'll load it for you. Like, don't you want to like go down a little bit? I want to see total return
Negative 21%.
Your ending investment if you'd done the S&P 500 would be $27,500 roughly. If you just done Dominion Energy, it would be your $10,000 would now be just under $8,000.
You lost $2,000. But I know what you're saying, Kalyn, because you're like, well, look, this is a utility stock, right? People are in it for the dividends, not for the returns, right?
Indeed, yeah.
So what if you had reinvested your dividends? Well, now all of a sudden it looks like this.
There's not one point that it was better than the S&P. Like not once on the chart. Well, maybe.
Could you pick a spot on the graph? Like maybe you picked this deepest. No, I don't know. You're so right. Maybe you kept up with S&P once. I don't know. But if you reinvested your dividends, you would have made
$1,000 on your $10,000
in 8 years instead
of making $18,000 almost.
So I thought you would like that.
Man, I like the transparency. I gotta say, I like you guys. not for my money. I mean, I don't want to invest in it. Like maybe we should short them, but
they're not gonna defraud anybody. They got none of that chicken soup for the soul in them.
No, they're like, yeah, you should invest. Here's what it's gonna look like.
And
you might not lose all of your money. You're probably gonna lose some.
This is no Enron situation here, where they're like, put all your money in our stock.
Sorry.
You put this on the investor relations front page.
Preloaded, yeah, preloaded. Like, here you go. This is it. Here's your calculator. Let's do some math.
We picked these dates at random.
Yeah, we've been in a bear market. The S&P a bull market, but we bear.
Hardcore 8-year bull market. Meanwhile, the little old ladies invested in Dominion have lost their ass. You should.
I've never seen that either. Like the
No, I've never seen that on one of these investor relations websites either. A tool like that, it's wonderful.
The one company that does it is the one company that's like, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we should just put out a quarterly report and they can pull those or whatever.
I get the guy selling it to Dominion, this tool. Like, there's a plugin that you could put on your website for your investor relations. Your investors are gonna love it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, give that son of a bitch a whirle.
Yeah,
and they're like,
the finance guy's like, I don't know if we should do that though. Like, just knowing the money in his head, like he's like it's not been great though. I don't think we're gonna. Like, I haven't invested any money in this. And then
yeah, you know how you pay the 401k match in company stock? The CFO, I've been liquidating that every
single time you give it to me. Liquidate it.
S&P.
Sell. Like,
this is worse than Robinhood giving me his free stocks.
Yeah, right. Oh man, that is too funny. That's good research. I like that. That's like my favorite company overview we've done.
Exactly. I know, we've had some funny stuff. Like, companies, you have got to do better. You have to do better. If your stock has sucked ass for 8 years.
Maybe don't preload that. Like, it could have been okay if it just been like the past year or something. Maybe.
I
don't even know.
I mean, all right.
Like, let's change it. Let's change the dates from December.
Oh yeah, let's pick a point we think we have a chance. So what is this?
Yeah.
That's October 16th, 2023. Let's see.
Yeah,
we're gonna give these guys a fighting chance.
Hey,
we beat the S&P 500.
Look out!
Yeah.
See, like, we had to really help you guys. Maybe you should do this on your own.
Holy shit, 44% since that point. I mean, we picked the absolute bottom, but
right.
And we didn't crush the S&P because they're up 38%, but anyway.
But yeah, so in that amount of time, your $10,000 that you could have invested 8 years ago, you would have made $1,000 on your $10,000 investment.
Yeah.
If you'd just done it a year ago, then you would have made $4,500.
You make more money in 1 year than you did in 8 years.
It's been a rough 8 years if you're like a full-time investor there. Like, God.
All right,
my gosh.
So we're taking a pass on this one for the get rich.
I mean, unless we want to short it, but I don't know.
We've had it pretty good.
They're like doing okay lately. Yeah, I'm pass.
All right.
Oh, gummy bear.
We're 10
I was like, why does it smell so good in here?
So listeners, thanks to the magic of editing, we have jumped forward. Kalyn has taken a restroom break, emptied her bladder, so to make more extra room for a giant gummy bear. And by the way, Kalyn, we had comments. Again, complaints from our listeners because the listeners are like, guys, you have to do it right. We want a measurement to start.
Yeah.
Take the bites. Everyone's got to get a bite. And then you have to take the measurement at the end. So listeners at home, write this on a pad of paper. The gummy bear that used to be 5 pounds is now 3 pounds, 4.4 ounces. And Kalyn is going to take the first bite of this disease-ridden... If you ever get bit by a gummy bear in the wild, you need to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Very, very soon.
I'm like, where is even a good place now?
No, there are no good places.
We're running low on good spots.
There's no good places left. Just bite something. This one takes extra. She's wrestling with the gummy bear, and she can.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's getting chewy.
It is chewy.
I just spit on you.
Yeah, well, no worries.
Sorry.
And I'll take this little piece.
No, what?
No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted a little taste.
Yeah.
Right. And do me a favor, look up gummy bear in French.
Ours gommeux.
Ours gommeux.
Oh, Ursula? Is it like Ursula? Ours
Gommeux.
gommeux.
Ours gommeux.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's harder than the rest of the French words we've learned so far today, like fromage and pizza and suicide.
All right.
We're zeroing out the scale now.
And we are down to 3.3 pounds, 1.3 ounces. We ate almost exactly.
3 ounces.
Which makes the math pretty easy because 3 pounds is 36 ounces.
Yeah.
Divided by 3, 12 weeks. We're 12 weeks away.
12 weeks. Only 12 weeks. And that's what
And a little
that's
leftover.
weeks that we're together.
True.
So I should just change my flight. I'm
Push it
staying
out.
for the next 3 months till we
Push
get
it
this
out,
damn gummy bear eaten.
Andrea won't mind at all.
Yeah.
No problem. All right.
I mean, it is looking pretty. I mean, the head is almost gone.
Yeah.
Now we're legless.
No, we're like Russian mafia. We've left no distinguishing
Right.
factors.
That's right. We like pulled out all of his teeth one by one kind of thing. Yeah. There's
Both
no
earlobes,
arms.
both hands,
I mean, we're almost down to where we like had no genitals either. So it's just
torso.
like, if we set it on fire at this point, then we'd really have a hard time identifying this gummy bear. I don't think we could tell if it was ours or not.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this quick because I know everybody knows about NXIVM already.
Right.
But the things that I thought that were interesting we're talking about from NXIVM. So Keith Raniere is the founder guy, right? Well, so it's a strong start because he first started out his professional career working at Amway, famously a MLM that, so that's a borderline scam in itself.
He must have been a pro at Amway, a top seller. Wow.
Yeah, and so then after Amway, he then founded his own company, which was the Consumer Byline Inc., right? Which then got shut down because it's a pyramid scheme. Okay, so solid start.
Yeah.
Then he meets up with Nancy. For anybody who hasn't seen The Vow, it's maybe worth watching. I don't know. There's also plenty of podcasts about NXIVM at this point.
If you don't know NXIVM, I would find something that would cover the subject in about an hour or maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Not
The Vow is 2 seasons with I think 8 episodes per season, all at least an hour long.
Yeah.
So it's really in the weeds. I left season 1 being like, so yeah, there's like some not great stuff going on right now, but like nothing bad had happened.
Yeah.
Like the cliffhanger that they give you, he's gotten arrested, I guess, but then like in season 2 and he's like, hey, 14-year-old, you want to suck my dick? Like, you're like, what the fuck? Like,
Right.
we went from like executive success programs to like pedophilia like that.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh crap. Okay,
That's
so
what
this
happens. You
is
get
the-
one taste of success, man. You're R. Kelly.
All of
You're
a
like,
sudden, you're like, I'm peeing on 12-year-olds.
I freaking love it. It's all part of the success program.
Yeah,
First,
right.
first you go from the blue scarves up to the purple scarves.
Right,
Then
yeah,
you
yeah.
get underage girls to sleep with.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, nav slaves.
Level 17.
Yeah, exactly. So he met up with Nancy, who was like a nurse, but also was like a practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, which we still like throw that around today, but like I never learned about it in my master's program in psychology because it's junk. It is like pseudoscience to begin with. So Richard Bandler created neuro-linguistic programming, and then he became a huge cokehead and murdered his girlfriend, and and this is what NXIVM is based on.
Yeah.
So
Who better?
so I'm like, okay, so strong start all
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Like,
I like what I'm hearing here. I'm going to sign up for this executive coaching program.
in all humility, if I had heard about NXIVM back in the day before all the scandal stuff, I absolutely would have joined. It's, the things that they like tout, like, we're like trying to build a community of people that are constantly trying to improve themselves and be better and be there for each other and connect with the world and, try to make things better. Love it.
Well,
Love
like
all
you
that
said,
shit.
that's the stuff they're promoting. Contrast that to Dominion Energy. Like, guys, you don't put on the website you are founded by a crazy cokehead murderer.
Yeah. That's just our teachings are based on this murderer cokehead. Our founder, though, he's involved in MLMs and pyramid scheme companies.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
Right. No. 101, people. 101. Come on.
Yeah. Like, the end of the day, Keith Raniere is now in prison in Tucson, Arizona. He is in jail for 170-ish years.
Yeah.
That was his prison sentence. The other people that went to jail, Allison Mack went to jail for, I think, 4 years, something like that. She's out now for sure. Nancy, the person who knew all the neuro-linguistic programming, she went to jail for a good while, 9 years or something like that. Which was
Can you remind me what these people did that was so wrong? Okay, I know there was the deal about kidnapping the girl and et cetera. And but 170 years bad? Like, that's the kind of evil...
So he was like, he got like sex trafficking. Let me look exactly what his charges were. So he got sex trafficking, attempted sex trafficking conspiracy, racketeering conspiracy, forced labor conspiracy, wire fraud conspiracy, and racketeering. 120 years imprisonment, $1.75 million fine.
That strikes me as like 20 years.
Yeah.
10 years. But 25.
He had 25 total victims that were recognized for the sex trafficking and forced labor, I suppose.
It's all bad, but it's not 120 years bad. I think he should apply for a pardon from Joe Biden. Hunter Biden and what's his name?
Yeah, right. So yeah.
How long did cokehead murderer go to jail for? It wasn't 120 years, I bet.
No.
I guess it's like, what's worse, murdering your girlfriend or sex trafficking?
Well, I guess he actually was acquitted ultimately at the end of the day.
See, he wasn't.
But yeah, so like that's the founder of Neuralink, murder guy.
You can look at him and know that he's not a guy you want to give money.
Well, yeah. And there's no part of neurolinguistic programming that involves cocaine. It just happened to be that the founder was like a huge cokehead.
Nice.
And like people talk about him being like just unbearable to be around because he's just so coked out, like, and just we're gonna program you, and like I just can't imagine. I don't remember if they talked about this in the docuseries or whatever, but like Forbes, they did a profile on NXIVM, the company, and culinary, and they were like, this is a cult. This is a cult.
Yeah.
And they were like devastated. They thought it was going to be this super glowing
puff
review.
piece.
Yeah. And Forbes magazine's like, so yeah, which wouldn't have stopped me. I would have still joined.
Yeah. All right. Well,
so
maybe one way to get our listenership up would be if we
create a sex cult.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'd get a lot more views for
that Kimmel cult.
For Robert and Kalyn start a sex cult. Then Robert and Kalyn gets rich.
If you guys have any suggestions on direction we should go, I mean...
You remember Andrea was like, it should be Robert and Kalyn do this, get rich, Robert and Kalyn lose weight, Robert and Kalyn start a sex cult.
Right.
Perfect.
I think that's a good next step for us.
All right, well, we'll think about that one offline. Until then, let's cue the music. You've been listening to Robert and Kalyn Get Rich, episode 32. Yay. Please, if you haven't done so already, I can't imagine why you wouldn't have done this 5 times over, but like and subscribe, leave a comment, and forward us to all of your friends. Also, send us an email, robertandkalyngetrich@gmail.com.
Yeah.
One thing you should not do, though, however, is...
look to us for financial or investment advice.
Absolutely not. Now, French lessons? Maybe.
Yeah. Pizza.
Suicide. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Bye.